Where did you buy your house at? In
Toledo. No, Toledo.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like, I know with the Everblades, they call it a forever blade when the guys decide to get a house there, play there forever. Is that what
that's
the
Cam Johnson treatment?
Yeah. That's a pretty legit treatment.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, you're a point per game guy, so would be pretty sick for
Toledo
if you did decide to become a lifer there.
I'm all right with it as long as I don't have to deal with you in the South Division.
Dude, who knows what division I'm gonna be in? I haven't signed yet.
You better hope he stays out of the Central Fund.
Yeah, but you actually, I asked Z before he even does the intro. I know he wants to do it right now, but I asked Z I was like, this guy's point per game. Like, why doesn't he fight a little bit? He'd probably be in the A's. He's like, dude, he fights. He's actually nails. He'll beat the shit out of guys. So how many tilts did you have this year?
I had 2 last year.
2 last year. Nice. 2 wins, I'm assuming?
One they didn't count. The other one I kind of beat the wheels off a kid from Iowa.
That kid. Yeah.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
All right.
I gotta
cool. I selfishly need to know that, but get the intro.
Yeah. Pleasure to see you, Hawk.
You too, brother.
Episode 102 is the guy that can shoot 102. A Hockey East champion and a Kelly Cup champion from Macomb Township, Michigan. Welcome, Brandon Hawkins, to the Buzz Pod.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on, Hawk. Z said you have the hardest shot out of anyone he's ever played with. Hardest shot.
Well, hey, if he's saying that, I'll take it. That's a huge compliment.
So for reference, we'd be at school at Northeastern and we would do the half moon after practice. And Hawk would have, a little pile of pucks, top of the circle, far away. And he would tell the goalie, say, hey, I'm going to shoot high blocker. Bink, snipe. Goalie's like, didn't even see the puck. So, okay, I'm going to shoot high glove. Bink, didn't even see the puck.
You know what? Hey,
times
I remember it, but I remember Bream's got the best of me a few times. Made me upset.
You're telling him where you're shooting.
Yeah, and you still score.
But do you shoot pucks a lot? Is that something like when you were growing up? Are you kind of like in the office shooting pucks? Do you have a net at home and stuff like that?
So growing up where my parents lived, we had an unfinished basement, which was from like blue line in, and it was just I had pucks and net, nothing to worry about. Shot 1,000 pucks a day, and that's kind of how I spent my days.
No way, dude. That's actually that's unbelievable because I'm helping run a camp right now. Z actually helped a little bit too. And they have like this 10,000 puck challenge, and the kids that have been actually doing it at home, like they rip the pill, and and like they have such an advantage over the other kids. And I was just thinking to myself, like, wow, it's not about the weights with the shot, it's just about repetition, so it's unreal that you had that available. Blue line in, so you were ripping them from far as a kid.
Yeah, you know what, a lot of kids, like growing up, what year are you?
I'm a 98.
Okay, so me being a 94, like I was like the first birth year that we really had junior sticks.
Yeah.
So like I actually had to learn and understand how to flex my stick, and the way I did it was watching Brett Hall. It's half the reason why I wear number 16, half the reason I do everything the way I do. So I watched him shoot the puck and just constantly tried to mimic it. And by the time I was done, by the time I hit 18, that was kind of when I really understood that I could shoot the puck as if I was far away with range. I could still have a scoring chance no matter where I was.
And that is the case.
And what videos do you watch? Like YouTube?
Yeah, it was all YouTube stuff. It was basically the one I watched a lot of was between him and Robbie Schremp. Robbie Schremp had 05-06 highlights in for the London Knights, and then Brett Hull was his 2002 playoff goals, and then his 2001 like wrist shot or slap shot compilation.
Oh yeah. So just leaning on the twig, because I remember when I was getting your lessons, you're like, man, you got to lean on your stick. All that power is coming from your weight.
Well, it's all about you're trying to snap your stick in half every time.
Yes.
And obviously kids, it's going to be different because you can't go through that many sticks. But pro-wise, it doesn't matter.
No,
College, it didn't matter at Northeastern. Rob would give us whatever we wanted.
absolutely. So
So college, I used an 80 flex. Pro, I use 100.
how many sticks do you go through?
In a season.
I think last year I went through close to 3 or 4 dozen.
3 or 4 dozen. I was close to 3 or 4. So if all the teams listening, I'm way cheaper option. Got a lot of players in the league. I literally don't break sticks, dude.
I still use the one from like 2 years ago.
Yeah. I've literally broke a stick on a cross check. That's it. No,
I don't want to be on the other side of that cross check.
Not many do.
It's easier when the stick breaks. It's actually easier on the guy. But let's get into your career a little bit. I mean, you started off a Caesars guy, classic Michigan, go to Caesars, rip it up, and then I want you to talk about that, honestly, your youth hockey.
So growing up, I didn't play much AAA until my midget major year. I played single A and double A hockey growing up. It's what my parents could afford, and they did everything in their power to make sure that I could play hockey no matter where it was. So I played for a lot of travel teams out of here. Summit was one of them. We won a national championship. Played for the Rochester Rattlers, the Troy Sting. It's all a bunch of Michigan-based travel teams. And then when I went and played for Caesars, I actually was a defenseman. I played D that whole year.
Go from far.
Yeah, I mean, I can't skate backwards, but yeah, I played D for a full year. So
how was your
I
plus
did
minus?
that. What was that?
How was your plus minus if you can't skate backwards?
I think I was plus. I was a good first pass guy. A lot of second assists.
Yeah,
Nice.
that'll work.
So I went and played for Caesars. I actually signed a tender with the Texas Tornado. They turned into the Fort Worth Brahmas now in the North American Hockey League.
Yep.
Yeah.
Went in there as a rookie, and he kind of gave me different opportunities right off the bat. I started on the 4th line, but he's like, I'm going to play you. Just make plays, do your thing. And if I like it, you'll move up the line. So I ended up moving up to the 1st line, and I had 36 goals that first year playing North American League.
Most
goals in the NAHL rookie of the year, tore it up 58 and 60 as a rookie in the NAHL. That's a hard league to score in too.
The NAHL South though too. How was the NAHL South? That was a WWE back in the year.
That was, so do you remember Louis Rowe?
Oh yeah.
So he was my roommate. And Lou, so I think Lou would honestly fight 2 to 3 times a game in that league, just for fun, just because he got a giggle out of it.
There was no fight rule in that league.
No fight rule. We had between 3 and 6 fights a night, and trying to think of guys that still play. I don't know many guys that still play. There were guys
he still plays though, right?
I think so. There were guys in that South division that went and just that went straight from the NAHL to the coast, or the NAHL to the Central League at the time when that was still a thing.
Yeah, and
they were nails.
Yeah. So you tear it up that year, and then you go right to the USHL in Sioux City.
Tear it up.
I got drafted to the USHL out of the North American League.
Really? Which is rare.
So that was a little different. Like I think it was phase 2. I think that's what the draft's called.
Yeah, phase 2 with the older guys.
Yeah. And then my coach, who's now the head coach of St. Cloud, trying to remember his name, Brett Larson.
Yeah.
He left, so he drafted me and left. And then Jay Verde took over, who's the assistant coach in Detroit now.
Yep.
And he goes, he comes in and goes, hey, I don't know you. I didn't draft you. I'll give you a shot. Just play your game and I'll see how I like it. And everything worked out. And honestly, I owe a lot to him because I learned a ton from him playing. He was like my first version of a player's coach, but like, you know where you stand at all times. So playing for him, like, you get your positive feedback, but if you're not playing your game, he's pulling you in the office and being like, hey, what's going on? Instead of motherfucking you in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why he's such a good coach in today's game.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. What do you think you did so well that kind of grabbed his eye? I mean, besides scoring goals every night, what do you think you did? Yeah.
I feel like I was more of a power forward than just a goal scorer.
Mhm.
So like I'd create plays, I'd create havoc, different things like that. And that kind of pushed him or put me in a good position in his eye to give me a little more opportunity.
Nice. Nice. So you have a great season there, and then
When did you commit to Bowling Green? Because you went for that year.
In the North American League at Christmas time.
Nice.
Oh, okay. How did that come about? Did you go on a visit, just fell in love with campus? It was close to home. How did that decision come about?
Close to home, I had a couple buddies that went there and absolutely loved it. And they basically told me a lot of things about it. And honestly, it was perfect size for small, like I'm a small town kid.
Yeah.
Like Macomb Township is not big by any means. I think they have a drive your tractor to school day at my high school. Like that should tell you enough. Yeah. And like my parents and I went on a little visit at Christmas, nothing official, just a visit to meet the coaches and such. And they were like, they basically laid it all on the line. And I think I committed within the next week.
Nice.
Nice. And you go in there your freshman year. I mean, this is a sick freshman year, dude. 30 points in 39 games. I mean, I always say it's crazy to be a freshman, and I didn't play NCAA, right? But I know how high of a level it is, and I always say it's crazy to even play every game as a freshman. Just to be in the lineup every night as a freshman is a huge accomplishment, but you tore it up as a freshman. You talk about that like transition from juniors to college and just continuing your success, that adjustment.
So something cool that the coaches there do is they make you write down 3 goals at the beginning of the year. And you have to come in and have a meeting with them and explain those to them. Now, mine were, I think it was score over 15 goals, play every game, and then, oh Jesus, come on, out of here. Play all the games that we could, and then I think my last one was help the team win in any way possible. And I got both my 2 big goals, and that was like a big thing for me because that whole like first year college experience, and Z will tell you this, it's fight or flight. Like it's like you don't know where you stand a lot of days, you don't know what's going on. You have to go into practice like somebody's taking your job at every second. And kind of that's kind of where I learned big time on how to deal with that type of stuff early on.
Mm-hmm. They don't care what you do in junior when you come to college.
Nope.
They think junior hockey is a joke, which when you do get to college, you look back, you're like, wow, juniors was way easier. Yeah. But your transition was just fine. And then you had another successful year there, but you guys didn't win. So then it was time to win, as why I assume you came to Northeastern.
Well, this guy just, every time we have a Northeastern guy, I just can't get the bean pot out of my head. It's all we talk about on this podcast. It's now the bean pot pod. But we're gonna
I got a bean pot tattoo.
Yeah, you got a couple tats. We're gonna talk about tats in a bit, but I wanted just to ask about, the transfer and how rattled are you now that you can just transfer and play? And when you had to do it the old school way where you transferred, had to sit out a full season. Like
I said a year and a half.
A year and a half in a crucial part of your career. Like that age is crucial for hockey, it's I mean, it's like your junior year of college, right? Like you delay it a full season, you're sitting around. Kind of talk about just transferring, why transfer? You were having good success, but then also like how tough was that to sit out a full year, like watching games, probably practicing, I'm guessing, or I don't know.
So transferring, it was tough, and it was a tougher decision because I loved Bowling Green, and I still go back and watch games. And obviously, my best friend Tyler Spezia was there too. So, and you know what, me and the coach there didn't see eye to eye. Now looking back on it, do I wish I stayed a little bit? But you can't really take regret into that case. Like I loved it at Eastern, so. It's one of those things. Like I left for my own personal reasons, and it was one of those things that I just needed to get out of there and have a start somewhere else. And at that time, you still had to sit the full year. But so I started my junior year and was 4 weeks into the semester, and the NCAA didn't grant me the 1 year rule. They're like, nope, you started the semester, you have to sit the full from Christmas to the following Christmas. So I didn't play from the beginning of the year to Christmas, and then from Christmas to Christmas. So the full year and a half. which sucks.
Messed up.
But
That's messed up. And now they just change it that you can transfer and play.
you could transfer in the middle of your year and play.
Yeah, that's
Hawk,
crazy.
when you were eligible to play, wasn't that the year COVID then hit? So the year got cut
No,
short?
no, no.
No, we won Hockey East that year.
We won Hockey East the second year. My senior year, we won Hockey East.
Okay.
I transfer, and Northeastern is kind of a wagon at that time because they just came off a Hockey East win.
Yep.
They have a guy that's going to win potentially the Hobie Baker and Zach Aston Reese. They have a future Hobie Baker winner in Adam Gaudette. That you have John Stevens, Nolan Stevens, their dad is who he is, obviously. And they both are like, they're the definition of pro players, like, period. And then you have Dylan Securo, who was probably the nastiest player that played there and never got the full recognition for what he is.
I never realized how stacked that team was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So practice was
And
like,
Zach Solo, Toronto Marley.
yeah. No, I didn't get him until next year.
Yeah.
So practice was like, honestly, it felt as if you could go out there, and obviously it was competitive, but because of how still it was, you could almost go out there without shoulder pads and a helmet because you knew that like passes were coming tape to tape. If a guy's going to hit you, he's going to just rub you off. He's not going to hammer you because he wants you don't want full pressure. It was all about positioning. You never had anybody on our team laying big hits, period. So practice was so much fun. It was like, and it might have been the internal competition that was what it was, but like we had such a good group and so much fun every day going to the rink that the year and a half kind of flew by. Although it sucked not playing. And the NCAA didn't let me travel with the team to go practice at offsite places. So I would have to Uber myself to practice that was off campus. It was horseshit.
That's crazy.
And then
impossible.
finally got to play my redshirt junior year with Z at Christmas time, which my first game back I think was Merrimack.
Yeah.
So it was a long road, but it was like in the end it was worth it.
Oh yeah.
Who did you play with right away at Northeastern? I mean, you had good success, 17 points in 22 games.
I think our first line was obviously Secura, Gaudette, and Stevens. I think I played second line right wing. Z, were you center?
Yeah. Me, you, Phil.
Yeah. And then we ended up being our first line our senior year.
Yeah.
My senior year.
Yeah. Yep. And then I got a little time with Pex, me, you, Pex a little bit. And then we won the Hockey East, and that was a great run. And I still will never forget your performance in the Hockey East championship game. The first 3 shifts of the game, Hawk, you create a goal, then you score a goal, then you score a power play goal, and it's 3-0. And the camera zooms in on your face, your red cheeks.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Everything was fucking in. It was awesome, man. That performance, and then we were up 3-0, and it was just like, holy cow, how much time left? You just keep looking at the clock.
And it's like we look up and there's 14 minutes left in the first.
It's 3-0. Hawks got all 3.
That's crazy.
One of the best individual performances.
But like, I think we won the Bean Pot back-to-back. You won it, what, 3 times?
Yeah, and they squeezed me a 4th year, or else I would have won it that year too.
Yeah, COVID. The COVID Cup didn't happen for you.
It squeezed me. But it's okay.
So, like, that was so much fun. But like, you couldn't, like, obviously the city's a little big for me. I'm not a person who enjoys paying $18 for a vodka Red Bull when I go out to the bar. All right. But like in the end, we had our little part of us on campus that made it so much fun. Rest in peace, Punters Pub. But like, that was like, our team was just a blast, and they recruited like good people before they recruited good hockey players. I think that's why we were so good.
I fully agree. It's truly every team throws around the word culture, and they talk about you have to have a good culture if you want to be successful and win championships. And I believe Coach Madigan and Coach Keefe really built a good culture, and it's stapled in the guys that played there and that go in there, and they take pride in playing in that culture. So you have 2 more successful years of college, and then you signed pro. What was the turning pro process like?
Well, first, back to your culture point, because Kiefer texted me the other day talking about how good our team was, how special it was. But Like he really, like they really built it from the ground up there.
Mhm.
Like they went from absolutely nothing to like nationally competitive teams every year. And I think Kiefer Mad Dog did such a good job in terms of culture and people and that type of thing. So that was big. But back to your other point, turning pro, it was different. Like it was, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to sign the coast. I didn't know if I was going to sign an American League deal. I didn't know what was going to go on. And Wilkes-Barre came out of the woodworks, and I got a one-way American League deal my first year.
Mhm.
And in the middle of summer, so I go in and play 5 games, and they are like, look, we love it. We're excited to have you back. And then my coach, Clark Donatelli, he got fired. I don't remember what the reason was. And Bill Guerin left and took the Minnesota Wild job. So a single coach comes in, Mike Vellucci, he's a legend for the guys that don't know him. He's a very straight shooter. Like that's just how he is. He's a good coach. And and I didn't get the opportunity that I got the year before. So, and it's nobody's fault. He brought in some of his own guys, and I was just kind of the guy that went down at that case.
Mhm.
But pro was weird. That first year was so different. I think I went up and down 6 or 7 times, driving back and forth from Wheeling to Wilkes-Barre. So like that's mentally taxing, but it's a good thing to have your first year because you actually really learn how to deal with the up and down mentality and the shit show that is the minor league hockey. So that was good. And then COVID ended the season, which would have been your senior year, I believe.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
And that's what happened. And so how was that organization Wheeling to Wilkes, that drive? I heard those two places are kind of in not the biggest and brightest attractive
Well, I'll
towns.
tell you, Wheeling, it's Wheeling, everything is abandoned there.
Yeah.
Like when
It's a coal mining town.
when I played against Wheeling this year a couple times, we stay 20 minutes away in a town that's like alive, that people live there and the place is
The one
open
with
every
the
day,
hotel
where the
hotels
hotel
across
is.
the street from like Cabela's and Chipotle and everything like that.
And there's one place, I think it's like called Bobby's or something, Bob something,
I
and
know what you're talking about.
it's like the place. It's actually packed every night. Like everyone
Yeah.
in town goes there to eat. But anyway, when you drive in with the bus to Wheeling, everything is dead. Nothing's open, nothing's
Yeah.
available. But you guys have a pretty good setup. One of my buddies was in Wheeling when I went, so I went to his apartment. Pretty
Yeah.
good setup with the apartments there, right across the street from the rink.
Like, their housing's actually legit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I'll give them that. But like, and they truly care about development. And that's why like the Pittsburgh skill development guy comes to Wheeling and then works with guys. Like
Yeah.
he'll bring out the entire team for like 2, 3, 4 times a month. Like they care about development there. So you can't hold anything against them. Obviously, it's a little different. Like, everything in Wheeling is probably abandoned. It was an old coal miners town. And obviously that's not that big of a thing there anymore. So obviously you can see that turned into a little different situation, but they're a proud city and they care about what they do there. So
the rink
it
is
is what it is.
beautiful building in that whole entire, like there's in the 200-mile radius from there, that rink is a beautiful building. It's a really nice building. From the outside it's elite, and inside
Yeah.
nice.
You don't like playing in the little rink?
In what do you mean, that little rink?
Wheeling?
Wheeling's
the small rink.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's better for me. I don't have to skate as much.
That's me too, buddy. A lot of glide in my game.
It's easy. It's easier to angle guys, like make hits and stuff. They have that one guy, Peter Laviolette. I don't know if he's a heavy though, but yeah,
He'll fight heavies. He's willing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So COVID ends your season in Wheeling.
Yep.
Your next season is a big one. I want to know what you did during COVID, because you came out like a house of fire and you win a championship.
Yep. So, the girl I was dating at the time, her dad owned a rink in New Hampshire, and so during COVID, we actually, like, obviously this is probably not okay, but it is okay. We were able to skate 4 or 5 times a week because that was our only way out of the house, and we would just park behind the rink, turn the lights on, We had like a group of 6 people. Mikey Kesselring was one of them.
Yep.
And honestly, like I'd say I got better over that time because we had we had a gym and ice that no one could really say anything about because nobody knew that we were doing anything.
I remember you were sneaking me in the side door.
Yeah. Yeah, you came and I do remember you came and skated.
Yeah, I was starting to come once I realized like, oh, you guys are funneling skates in this private rink. I'm like, I gotta get my hands on that ice, get my blades on that ice.
Only bad part was it was an hour drive for you. That was it.
Poke, yeah, it was a poke. So you had a great summer, and then how did you sign in Fort Wayne? Did they reach out to you, or did you sign somewhere else and then get sent there?
We played 10 games in Rochester that year as well.
Yep. So I signed in Toledo, and Toledo opted out. Both Ohio teams opted out, and I think I signed with Fort Wayne within 30 minutes of that phone call that Toledo was out. Just because it was the next closest team to home and I didn't really want to go that far. So I would go to Fort Wayne, and Ben Boudreau, who's obviously he's Bruce Boudreau's kid, and Benny treated me like gold. So did a lot of those guys in that organization, and Olivier Legault, who's the assistant coach, now associate head coach there. But like obviously it was just one of those things where Toledo wasn't in, so I was able to play with somebody else and have an opportunity, and it just worked out well for me.
Yeah, and you guys had a great season, and you guys won it all. Talk about your playoff run and that whole experience.
39 points in 37 games.
Huh?
39 points in 37 games.
I shot the puck a lot that year. Thankfully, I played with just a passer. But halfway through the year, I went up to Rochester and played a third of the year because they were only playing 30 games total. Mm-hmm. So I went up and played whatever. I played 10 games there. I think I had 4 points, and I had the first night I was there, I had a goal and assist. The second night I had 25 penalty minutes.
Wow. That's one of my games.
What'd you do for those 25 PIMs?
I think his name is Darian Kaspic. He's some mutant from Iowa. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I play against him.
Yeah, so he's like 6'4", 6'3". Yeah. I have no business fighting him.
Was it organic or what?
Yeah, I hit him hard coming up the wall into the bench, and he like donkey kicked me, like out of the bench, like he was like upset, so he like went to, and I'm like, by the time he turned, I already I had my shit off.
Yeah,
and I ended up fighting him, and then next period comes around, I beat a D wide, rip a shot, puck goes to the corner, and me and the D are shoulder to shoulder. He initiates contact. And he ends up full sideways, like the Roadrunner when it goes through the brick wall.
Parallel, yeah.
And so I got a 5 and a 10 for that, so that was good. But Patty McGrath tells it probably the best. He's our tough guy in Toledo last year. He goes, I thought I was worried about my job. I go, Patty, I don't fight anyone. I just happened to hit everyone while I was there.
But what was that like? What was that season like? I mean, winning the Kelly Cup, how was playoffs? I mean, no fans, kind of tough, but
we got fans our last game. We were able to go full bore at Allen, at the Allen County War Memorial. So that was cool. But our first series, we played, who did we play? Wichita, who had Ryan White, Gagnon, Forns, Peters, and Allen. So they had a full line of heavies.
Yeah,
that was fun. Forns hurt himself trying to hit me. I like sidestepped him, and he just about tore his groin. And then Whitey got hurt at some point. And they got hit with injuries, but that was probably that was a hard series to play against. So we beat them in 5, and then ended up going to Allen, which we decided, hey, it's a good idea. Let's bus to Allen. So we bus to Allen from Fort Wayne. Halfway there, our AC goes out. So you got guys that and we're carrying more guys than normal. So bodies everywhere on that bus. Head hot as hell. Like the most East Coast League thing you can think of. So, and we ended up making playoff shirts that said the Eastern League afterwards off of the Hanson brothers going, where do you get these guys? Iron League. So
awesome.
So we ended up there in Allen, and they were nasty. They kicked the shit out of us the first game, like 7-3. And then we beat them in overtime the second game. And then kind of when that happened, it was like a TSN turning point. We kind of took over from there. They had that nasty defense in that year. Les Lancaster, you remember him, Z?
Oh yeah. He already played Mercyhurst?
Yeah, he's in Finland now. He's gross.
Yeah, he's really good.
And then we played SoCo in the final, and I think we did really well against SoCo.
Yeah, SoCo beat us in 5.
Yeah, they didn't match up well against us, honestly.
They had Hunter Shepard, who just won the American League. He carried them to the finals that year, SoCo. He's a great
yeah, he is a great goal.
Yeah, he was okay that series.
But yeah, I'm sure you put a couple past him. But
I might have had a hat trick the first night.
What was that like winning the cup? And did you win it in Fort Wayne?
Yeah, we won it at home. And
with a packed crowd, you said. Yeah,
with a packed crowd. I think the owners ended up leaving the back doors open so they could get as many people into the building as possible.
Oh yeah, the doors are open.
Yeah,
he's there. Everybody.
We were in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I don't know how many people believed in COVID in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
No, smart people.
Yeah. So no, that was unbelievable. It was honestly like, it's like a life-changing experience because like we had a parade at the baseball game on 4th of July. It was honestly, it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. I was talking like bubbles the whole day because I couldn't see straight. It was it was fucking special.
So after you win it, then you signed back with Toledo because that's where you were before the COVID year.
The place.
So my rights reverted back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And light it up, dude. Like light it up. 35 goals, 29 assists, 64 points in 52 games.
So that year, game 1, shift 1. I don't know if you guys can see that scar.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Stepped on.
Nope.
What is
dislocated my wrist? My middle finger touched my forearm.
Come on.
Yeah. It made a pass with a hip check, just went and popped.
Oh.
Tore 3 different ligaments. This is how much like movement I have now.
Yeah.
Like I can't back any farther.
Yeah. So what'd you miss? 2 weeks? You specimen or what?
I missed 10 weeks total.
So probably around 20 games. You still played 50 games, right?
Played 50.
Yeah.
52 games. So you missed about 20 games.
And somehow I went and played the American League 1 game for Cleveland.
Yeah.
And had and played on the first line first power play. It was hilarious.
Come on.
Went up for one night.
What'd they say? We're calling you up. We need you to come crack one-timers, or
they literally go like, "Hey, we're calling you up. You're playing your game, your style. You'll be on the first line, the first power play. Period." I'm like, "Okay, I'll be there in an hour."
Perfect.
And so you got 1 game with Cleveland, and then you went back to Toledo.
Yeah.
Finished the year.
Yeah.
You're gonna go back to back, and then I saw
lost to you. Lost to you. I'll say it before you do, so you don't look bad.
Well, I just remember playing you going in the finals. I'm like, boys, like this Hawkins guy, if you don't block his shot, we're not winning the series.
I think I heard a few people that series.
Oh my goodness. You took guys out of the lineup with the shot.
Well, there's 2 rules, Zach. You know the rules: shoot to score, shoot to injure.
Yeah, you did taught that. If you're gonna get in the way, you're gonna fucking feel it.
100%. That's just how it works. And then the guy's never gonna come back and block it again.
No. We got lucky with some posts, some voodoo magic, but
and then this year, like 81 and 66. You're kind of like me. I mean, obviously, I made a bigger jump. I went from 1 point to 11, but you're making some impressive jumps here on your EP, like 39, 64, 81. Like
I'm still a little upset that I hit 39 and not 40.
Yeah, I'd be upset too. I'd be upset.
Also, I got called up 6 games to Chicago I wasn't playing my style of game.
They're asking you to play 5 minutes.
I was chipping pucks and blocking shots.
Oh,
I think I had a penalty kill shift there.
You had PK shift. When was
Might have been the last 15 seconds, but I spent more time on the PK there than I did on the power play.
But how fun is it for you? Like you mentioned, you wanted to play in Toledo. It's close to home.
Yeah.
How fun is it for you to be able to play your game and just have more and more success every season? Like,
Well,
just
it's like,
night is point night, that's always fun. But then also you're doing it in a place where is ideal for you. You just got a home there, and you know.
yeah, so it's awesome. And you know what, Waddy, who's now the head coach of Grand Rapids, really kind of like, he let me have leash and basically said like, hey, look, if you play your game, you can try your things, do your stuff, just make sure you take care of the defensive end when it's your responsibility, and I'll never have a problem with it. And honestly, it was the perfect thing.
Mhm.
And so he basically let the leash go and said, go have fun. And I think this is the year I was the most plus that I've been in my pro career. So my defensive responsibility was fine, and I got to do like, and I do stupid things in games. Like I put the puck under the heel of my stick and drag it through my legs and do stupid shit like that. And like, and he
You're
doesn't
a
have a
hockey
problem.
nerd. You're a hockey nerd.
Yes, 100%. I'm a roller hockey player playing ice hockey.
Yes.
And so basically, he never had a problem with it. As long as if I mess up, I get back hard. That's just how he was. And honestly, it's awesome because he doesn't coach the team. He coaches every individual differently. And I think that's why he's going to do so well in the American League, honestly.
Hawk, you're an extremely passionate guy, hockey
Mhm.
nerd. Where do you get your passion for hockey from? Is it shooting pills in the unfinished basement, watching the Wings? What is it?
So I grew up at a roller hockey rink called Joe Dumars Fieldhouse. It's COVID ended it. It's gone. My dad was a general manager there. My uncle, he started roller hockey there with his father and everything like that. So kind of roller hockey got me into everything. And I remember days where my mom would just drop me off at the roller hockey rink. And obviously this is like, it's inline hockey, but it's 4-on-4, full speed, no offsides, no icing, lots of space, lots of offense. So like that's our game. And my dad would be like, yeah, not a problem. Drop them off. I was there from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. on tournament days and stuff like that. And my love of the game grew from that,
Mhm.
from the roller hockey side. And then ice hockey grew more probably when I started going to like OHL Red Wing games around 7, 8, 9 years old. Like Plymouth used to play London and we go to those games, or Plymouth and Windsor all the time. Like those are always good. So like a couple of my idols, one being Rob Schremp. You see me do all the stupid moves with the puck, picking it up on my stick and doing stupid shit like that. That's a lot because of Rob. Like Schrempy he's a trailblazer. And honestly, I think if he didn't play in that era and he played in the era today, he'd be a superstar. And it's no doubt in my mind. But like at the same time, like playing for Caesars for a bit, like Caesars wasn't always AAA growing up. So I played for Caesars when I was really young. And I got to play with the Illich's grandsons, the Murrays. And I actually got to use Brett Hull's sticks because he had a good pile and a bad pile. And his bad pile was free range. So I'd always have like Brett Hull blades or Brett Hull shafts. And that was like my big thing to hockey was, all right, like I'm going to be number 16. I have the same initials as this guy. I'm going to do what he does. And like it kind of flew away from there. And the shooting room helped. My grandma used to sit down there forever and just be like top left, top right, bottom left, find a spot. Like that's just how my love for the game grew. And hockey nerd's probably the best way to explain it, but it's what I do, and I don't want to do anything else.
Did grandma ever tell you to shoot where she hides the cookies?
No, no, sir. She always said, shoot, don't think. That was her thing.
Shoot, don't think. Wise words from grandma. Mothers know best.
Wise words from grandma. Well, that pretty much wraps up your pro career for now. I mean, ECHL 202 games played, 217 points, AHL 28 games, 7 points. Let's talk a little bit about your tattoos. You have a ton of tats. Z told me you got your whole back and shit like that tatted. Like where does that come from? Your love for tats?
I don't know. I've kind of always been infatuated about it. Like I grew up liking them, stuff like that. But I got one when I was 19. I was for my grandma. It's a Celtic cross. She was the Irish in all of us. And from then on, it kind of just blossomed into sleeves, a chest piece. I had my stomach done last summer. my majority of my left leg. Like I have some stupid hockey tattoos, which are funny. Like I have a
Hockey
legitimate
hands,
fourth. I got a fourth line plug on my shin.
Yeah.
Cone.
I got a dusty pylon on my forearm. Like I got a tattoo on the back of my calf that says "popping bottles," and it's a water bottle off the top of a net.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Hawk,
I got the NHL guy, the little NHL PA guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Hawk, you score some sick goals like Michigan, throw the puck on the blade, backhand. You've had some top 10 goals. How do you think to do that in the game? Do you practice it in practice? I know you're just having fun out there on the sheet. Does it just come to you?
So I don't know if it's saying so much as it comes to me. To me, it's if you can do it full speed, then it's game like, right?
Yep.
So in my eyes, I found a way that if I can do all these things, I'm grabbing my phone checker real quick. If I can do all these things at a game type speed, then no one can really be all that upset. And no one will be like, oh, well, we'll do it in a game. Well, guess what? I have. So no one can say like stupid things like that. And it works out that way too. It's creativity. Like Rob Schremp would do it in all-star games and shootouts and different things like that. You'd see like Mike Legg did the Michigan move countless years ago. But like now it's way more accepted.
Yeah.
When I was little and you do the Michigan move, I had a ref come by and go, "Hey, hot dog, no more of that."
Yeah.
Like it's a different game. It's more creative, and honestly, it's probably creative for the better. Obviously, I'd love it if a guy or two every once in a while would try to snap their stick over me for doing something stupid like that and be like, "Hey, fucking smarten up." But that's not the game anymore.
Yeah.
No, you can. They honestly promote goals like that. They want to see action like that. You talk about Rob Schremp a lot. Do you know Schrempy?
So I've talked to him here or there through social media, and we've messaged back and forth. So it's like I've got to know him a little bit. Haven't met him in person. If we do, that's probably the scary thing for highlight reels. But that's an idol of mine.
Yeah.
If you go back and you look at his, I know he used to skate a bunch in Fort Myers, but if you go back and you look at his 05-06 year, I think he had 57 goals in 57 games for the Knights.
Yeah. So he skated in Fort Myers, like you said, and there would be a few junior guys that they would let skate with the pros.
Yeah.
And it was me, my cousin, and George Mika.
Yeah.
And we were mesmerized by Rob Schremp. His hands were so fast. And we're like, "Hey man, like you gotta ask him, like, how do you get your hands so good?" It's like, "No, you ask him." So eventually we both went up together and we're like, "Hey, how'd you get your hands so good?"
Yeah.
He said, go stick handle in the garage
Yeah.
until your arms feel like they're gonna fall off. Do that every day, and then you'll start stick handling like me.
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, stick handle till my arms fall off." Got it.
Yeah. And honestly, like he doesn't hide anything from anybody. Anybody can ask him whatever. It's like that's just kind of what I figured out is the type of person he's straightforward, and that's just how he is. So, and honestly, we need more of that today because everybody wants you to go stick handle around cones and do 18 different skill drills that are never going to happen in a game.
Yeah.
So now it's like, Z, do you remember like growing up, if 6 of our buddies were skating, even if it was like sticks and pucks or something like that, it'd be like, all right, let's play 3-on-3.
3-on-3.
3-on-3 auto.
Auto, yeah.
Even to this day, I'm still like that.
Yeah, and like that's where the hockey IQ comes.
Yeah.
That's where all the in-game like small situation things come. And now I feel like a lot of that doesn't happen anymore. And the kids would rather go out there with a skills coach and stick handle around cones for 2 hours. Yeah.
Spot on. It's what we talk about all the time. We work camps. The kids are great at going through the peps. They're really good.
Yeah.
They go through the peps. They can tight turn. They can pass in a drill and everything. And then you start a game. They have no clue what to do. They're like, "Where are the peps?"
They develop.
We have no clue what to do. It's actually mind blowing. Like my best advice to kids is play more games in hockey. Like play 3-on-3, play 4-on-4, play 5-on-5. Just play games of hockey. That's how you're gonna get better. You play the game. It's
100%.
crazy. They do way too much skills development practices. Too much practices. They never play the game of hockey. They
And
never.
like, and I'm a firm believer in more puck touches equal more development, but it has to be the right puck touches.
Yeah.
Like those 3-on-3 games, 2-on-2 mini games, 4-on-4, do whatever. Go play roller hockey. Go play street hockey. Like things like that. Like a lot of my stupid creative shit comes from roller hockey.
Yeah.
If
It's
you guys
just
ever
about,
get
like
bored,
trying to win, like try
Yeah.
to win, try to help your team win by making plays, by scoring goals, by having assists, like help your team win.
And it's cool when you
And-
make a sick play and everybody's like, yo, how'd you see him? You're like, I don't know. I just saw him. Like,
and like obviously like that's a competitive thing too. Like if you would have came to Northeastern when they took the ice out and we used to play ball hockey, me and Z are screaming at each other across the floor just because we like nobody wants to fucking lose.
no.
Now
You
it's like
play-
it's like there's no more of that anymore.
You play to win the game.
Period.
I had a lady tell me, hey, we don't believe in winners and losers. I said,
Get the fuck out of
what?
here.
I said, what? She said, we don't believe in winners and losers. It hurts people's feelings.
Fuck your
Not
feelings.
everybody wants to lose. I said, yeah, no shit. Then they don't play. If you don't want to lose, you're scared to lose, then don't play. Because
Wrong sport. See ya.
Wrong sport. You can't play a sport.
no, you lose. You're winner and loser in everything.
Yeah. You can't play a sport. You go work a 9 to 5 and you know feel the way you want to feel. If you feel like a winner, you know. But like,
I don't know what that feels like.
yeah, at the end of the day, it's like for me, it's common sense, dude. You want your kid to be a good hockey player. Well, where do they get scouted in the games, right? So play games. Play games. And you know, and then you can coach him while he's playing games after the game. Like, hey, you have to keep your head up more. Hey, you have to go to the more. Hey, you got to bend your knees more. And then play another game and see how he adjusts. You know, that's hockey.
And it's just and too many guys want to make money off of skill stuff than teach things like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best thing parents can do is give me $100, bring me 10 kids and have them scrimmage and I'll just run the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Like that's the best skills coach there is right there. You just run the scoreboard, have the kids play a game.
Yep.
And I'll give them the notes after. Hey, you didn't skate at all. You don't back check at all. You don't pass. You know, and that's it.
Yep.
That's it. And then play a game again the next day. See how
and the things I laugh at, like again, I'm gonna go back to ball hockey. Like I'm shooting it, period. I don't care if you're in front of me. And we have one guy on our team who's actually a goalie who would get upset about it. And I'm like, what do you want from me? I'm not hitting you with it. Don't be in front of it if you don't want to get hit with it. I'm shooting the score because I want to fucking win, period.
Yeah. That's a good play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but anyway, that's all I got. You,
Hawk, thank you so much for coming on, man.
But thanks again, bro. This was unreal. Hopefully I'll see you this season. We'll see
Hawk,
what happens.
I'm sure we will. Thanks for having me.
Hawk, have a great summer, man. Get the house looking nice. You know, you got a big year coming up, career year.
Hey,
Putting up 50 this year.
At some point, we have to do me and Tice on at the same time.
Oh,
absolutely.
We can get that done. We can absolutely get that.
We can do that this summer. We can do that later in this summer.
Oh, like the shit that him and I have done coaching right now, it's hilarious.
Oh,
we'd love a coaching episode. We've been coaching too.
Perfect.
A coaching episode.
Yeah, maybe we get some coaches, all our coaches on.
Do we all dress up like Don Cherry, call it Coach's Corner?
I would love that, dude.
Yeah, now you're spinning great ideas.
Hey, you got to go for 100 points this year. Your EP's climbing. It's 100 this year. 81.
I figured I got the Phil Kessel this year. I got to go a little farther.
Let's go.
That's
all right, man. Thanks again.
Not a problem, fellas.